Alright Reddit, what is your spookiest or most unexplainable event that has ever happened to you? Serious. Saw an old lady walking in front of me. I walk past her, she smiles at me, I thought she might know me, I smiled back. After maybe 10 seconds, I look back and she vanished. It was broad daylight and not a very busy road, it goes straight with just one turn which is clearly visible too. It was 10 secs, no normal person can vanish like that. It was really spooky. Had visitors and their kids liked my room because it had a massive bed that they could play. We thought they were there because they were noisy. One of the mothers was about to tell them to be quiet when all kids came inside from the backyard asking for snacks. The noise from my bedroom was gone and we asked the kids if they've been in my room. They said no because they were told not to by someone, they didn't elaborate on who that someone was. Night lightning struck very close on a perfectly clear summer's night during an off-trail hike. Scared me shitless, and when we went back the next day turns out we were hiking right next to an overgrown pioneer cemetery / cabin. Not unexplainable by any means, just very very unlikely and spooky. I was at a friend's farm walking down the road, talking to the owner. I told her of a story my brother told me of seeing a large flash when he was there last. We laughed a little, and then there was a huge flash that lit up the whole valley. I saw it as a tunnel. There were 5 of us there that saw it. Yeah, it was a bit odd. I was playing with the neighbor's child, 2 and he just started talking to his grandmother, that died 8 years ago. I saw my grandma kill a snake with magic when I was a kid. She sprinkled something on it and it shriveled up and its eyes got big like a cartoon. Kind of like Large Marge in the Pee Wee Herman movie. It dried up into a worm-like spot and stayed in the front yard for years. When I was younger, I was sitting in the car with my family driving home. We were looking at Christmas lights and it was pretty late, and I kid you not, I looked out the window and saw this tall, black, wrinkly humanoid with no face walking on the path next to our car. I blinked and it was gone. Probs just sleep deprivation though, lol, I highly doubt it was real, still a fun story. I'm too late and no one will read this, but it's true. I was maybe 5. I got up super early one morning and ran to my parents' room to finish sleeping with them, normal little kid stuff. The next morning we all recounted the exact same dream, 3 ghosts at the foot of the bed with ZZ top beards. None of us were afraid, we felt protected. My parents are super no nonsense, but we all still talk about the ZZ top guys having our backs. The previous owner of our house knocked on the door at like 9/10 p.m. asking if we'd had any paranormal experiences in the house. It was pretty creepy. But I did see an apparition resembling my late dog a while after his visit. I should be dead. I'm not joking. I was run over by a car when I was 4. I was just walking down to the playground and boom. The lady's emergency brakes broke. It was so weird that it happened just as I was walking down. But what I'll never understand is how I only came out of the hospital with a broken collarbone. Nothing else was hurt. Just some road rash. Scared my parents to death too. I was sleeping at my girlfriend's parents' house on the couch. I woke up to their dog licking my hand. Their dog passed away a week earlier. Seeing incredibly detailed worlds, experiencing complex storylines, and occasionally seeing fractals in dreams. I don't think that the physical world can be altered by outside forces. I think that the outside forces pre-programmed the physical world to match their will perfectly, but that is my most vivid spiritual experience. Needless to say, I don't believe in ghosts. I am a ghost, and so are you. In 2014, me and 3 friends were driving the old Nanaimo Highway on Vancouver Island. As we passed through the Deep Bay area, we witnessed a massive black triangle hovering in complete silence about 100 feet over the ocean. Answer: was sleeping in my brother's room for some reason. We had the window slightly opened and the light from the neighbors was shining inside. There was a shadow of a head in that light and it didn't move all night, felt like something was watching us. 6 years old, woke up in the middle of the night to see a man standing over me filling a hypodermic needle. I lay there terrified, eyes wide. He's wearing a bolo hat, khaki shorts, like dressed for a safari, mustache, brown hair. He looks up and realizes I'm awake. I see his expression change, then he breaks into little pieces and disappears. One time when I was a toddler, I distinctly remember playing with my favorite fire truck toy for the majority of the day. Later my mother and I went out for a walk. And when we returned, the front door was wide open with no one home and the fire truck was nowhere to be found. Spooky shit. I was sleeping in the middle of the night and then suddenly my bed started shaking. I thought it was an earthquake, but it was just my bed shaking. My books on the drawers were all still, none of them fell, and nothing else was shaking except my bed. Needless to say, I was too tired to care about it and fell back asleep. After waking up, I kinda got spooked thinking what happened. And no, it wasn't a dream. I once sharted in the middle of class. That is the scariest and spookiest thing that has ever happened to me. So during online school I had to wake up at 7:45 a.m. and there is a game called Cookie Run Oven Break where one of the characters is called Timekeeper Cookie, which is a powerful being of time or SMTH like that, and I was in a dream but woke up at 2 a.m. and went back to sleep, but at 7:45 I was sleeping and I had a mini dream where I heard Timekeeper say 7:45 and tap me on the back and bam, my alarm rang. I don't want to tell too many details for the sake of brevity, but I've seen shadow-like figures moving around my house on 2 separate occasions. I have seen ghosts my whole life and my ancestors come to speak to me in dreams. I can't explain it, but it is my life. At my childhood home, my siblings and I would often see things out of the corner of our eyes. One night after they had all moved out, I was in the living room and glanced towards the doorway, and caught it in the center of my vision. It just looked like a brownish blob floating in midair. It disappeared after a couple seconds. My whole family besides my mom had experiences in that house. Okay, I read this entire thread sitting alone in the house just before going to sleep. I have one thing to say. I got to work tomorrow and I still got to keep one eye open all night. Fuck all y'all /JK. I've had other weird experiences while asleep. Had the covers pulled down a couple inches and when I pulled them back up I felt something grab me by the ankles and slowly pull me down the bed almost about 6 inches. That definite woke me up. I was drinking the night before but I remember that shit. On other occasions felt the bed shake pretty strongly only to wake up next day and no reports of earthquakes or tremors. Thinking my sister came home, discovered that she was in fact not home after going through the house. My dog was following me around and when we got near the front door someone tried to open the door and she started barking like crazy. I ran to lock myself in my room and call my family. Luckily nothing happened after that and we've since moved. Had one of those nightmare things where I was paralyzed and heard a demon calling my name. Worst thing ever. A few years ago I was on the porch having a smoke. At the time I was in Mosgiel, New Zealand. I was looking out to the Tirau Gorge. It was sunset. When all of a sudden the sky exploded a lime green color from I don't know where, but appeared to be from where the sun was setting. Was amazing and also very strange.